Maryland Democratic Governor Wes Moore is a star in his party. No more reason to say rising. The guy is a governor of a major state, and I think there is more to come for him, and he joins us now. Governor, best to you and the family. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It's great to be with you and great to see you.
So I get this phone call. Governor Moore wants to come on to talk about his budget. What is so great about the state of Maryland's budget that you just passed that it warrants national attention on the flagship NewsNation show?
Well, you know, what's great about it is that in these conditions and in these times, with a Democratic governor, we are about to give 2/3 of the people of the state of Maryland a tax cut. That we're about to say that 82% of the people of the state of Maryland are about to either get a tax cut or have no impact at all. That in the state of Maryland, we're about to cut the corporate tax rate. That we're about to eliminate the inheritance tax. And for the third year in a row, we are going to have a budget that does not include any increases in sales tax, any increases in property taxes, and actually cuts $2 billion from our state's budget. This is a deeply fiscally responsible budget that actually focuses on growth. And this is the point that I'm so excited about, Chris, is that, you know, this is the first time in a long time that Maryland actually has a growth agenda, where we are actually going to invest in industries that Maryland has a unique chance to lead in, and making sure we're actually putting capital behind it. Because one of the biggest problems we had in our economy is that during the 7 years before I became governor, our budgets increased by 70%, but our GDP was at 3%. So we were growing in terms of our budgets, but we weren't growing in terms of our economy. This is the moment when we move differently. This is the moment when Maryland can actually grow economically, and making sure that we're putting more money back in the pockets of our working families. And so we're really excited about our ability to be able to get this done, because I think once again, Maryland is going to lead the charge on this.
How'd you do it?
Honestly, by being able to work with people, you know, not just across the aisle, but I mean, to put this plan together, we literally work with everyone from the Fair Funding Coalition to the Chamber of Commerce. And if you look at the people who have endorsed our tax plan, I mean, our tax plan has been endorsed by progressive tax experts and foundations, and also the Tax Foundation, which is a conservative organization, has said this is one of the most innovative tax plans that we've seen, especially from a blue state. And so I think, and I think about it in this way. I've introduced 26 bills since I've been the governor of the state of Maryland. We've not just gone 26 for 26, we've gone 26 for 26 bipartisan, with both Democrat and Republican support on every single bill that I have introduced since I've been the governor of the state of Maryland. In Maryland, we're showing, because we move together, we are moving differently, but because we're moving differently, we're actually moving faster than everyone else in the country.
What is the lesson as we head into this new administration? And we both know your party is struggling with what its posture is supposed to be. Are we supposed to double down on this is a bad guy who is about bad things, and we're staying there because we know we're right and the people who voted for him have to learn how to change their minds? Or is it time for a different posture and leaning into the idea that you missed the mood of the country?
Yeah. You know who I'm doubling down on? The people of Maryland. There are 6.5 million people who I represent. And I know that a good portion of them voted for Donald Trump, and a good portion did not vote for Donald Trump. But the thing that I want all of them to know is this: the one common denominator that they all have is they're Marylanders. And I'm their governor. And I'm going to defend them. And I'm going to protect them, and I'm going to make sure that we are investing in their future and we are protecting their future. And so I've been very clear. I don't play political games. I don't play partisan games. That's not my background. My background is I was in the business world, and I'm an Army guy. And I know that, when we said leave no one behind, we meant that, and we didn't ask about political affiliations. And so I'm willing to work with anybody who is willing to work together to be able to protect the interests of the people of Maryland, to make sure that we're investing in their hopes and their dreams and their aspirations. And I'm willing to push back on anybody who, when I feel like those hopes and those dreams are being attacked. And so in this moment, I just think it's really important for everyone to remember who it is that you represent.
Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget, click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.